What's good, YouTube? Justin Righteous here, back with another reaction video. I like to yap on world topics, but I don't just yap. I dissect the information, I break down the content, I share lessons from my own experiences, and I call out the misinformation. Today we have streaming was a mistake. Uh-oh. Was streaming a mistake? I don't think so. I think streaming is where the internet is going. And matter of fact, I'm going to share one of my theories about streaming that's like already happening and going to be in the future. So let's see what he has to say. I think this is going to be a very interesting one. But I think he's mostly talking about like Netflix, Hulu, all these like streaming apps. You know, let's just get straight into it.
Are y'all ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear
Piracy
you.
is back. Oh, okay. That's what he's talking
So now
about.
instead of paying $15.99 a month for 4K UHD, whatever downloads, 4 concurrent streams with HBO Max, you now have to pay $20 a month.
I hate Netflix. I hate them really bad.
Paramount Plus, Peacock, and Prime Video are $12. Disney Plus is $14, Netflix is $15.50, and Hulu is $18 every month.
They will keep raising it until they find the ceiling.
Who are paying now more.
Okay. Isn't that just inflation, guys? Isn't that why the price is increasing? Because of inflation?
For your television entertainment than we ever were before.
These companies are going to
Streamflation.
do whatever they want to do at the end of the day. Bringing you actual value is not their main focus. It's all about the money.
And I'm not saying we should do crime.
I mean-
what I'm saying is
Everything's about the money. Okay.
People are starting to realize that it's easier and far cheaper to pirate their favorite TV shows and
Are people just starting to realize this? Because I've been known. I've been downloaded.
movies than to buy them. And you honestly can't blame them. Streaming is horrible now. When Netflix first came out, the idea was revolutionary, and you could see why everybody loved it. Netflix made it easier to watch all your favorite movies and TV shows on one disc, conveniently from anywhere in the world. And for a brief moment, it was great. Piracy fell to an all-time low, as nobody saw the need for it anymore. But as the saying goes, nothing good lasts forever, especially since other platforms realized that instead of licensing their shows to Netflix, they could just create their own streaming services and keep all the profit for themselves. Want to watch The Last of Us? It's not on Netflix. You'll have to pay $10 for HBO Max. Want to watch Family Guy? Another $10 for Hulu.
He said it! He said it!
Want to catch up on Rick and Morty? It's not on Hulu.
Jeez, I don't know.
You'll have to go back to HBO Max, despite the show being owned by the same network, Fox. When The Office, the comedic show that won 5 Emmys, came out on Netflix,
The Office is one of the funniest shows ever, and I don't even watch shows.
fans adored the idea that their favorite show was conveniently on the most popular streaming platform on the planet. That was until 2021, when everything changed. Netflix's license to continue streaming expired, and other streaming platforms saw an opportunity to steal Netflix's golden show for themselves. The directors of the show called the representatives of Netflix, Hulu, Apple, and Peacock to a room and asked them to bid for the show, and the highest bidder would walk away with the rights. Of course, Netflix didn't stand a chance in a room full of billion, even trillion-dollar companies like Apple. At the end of the day, Peacock won the auction by offering $500 million in a 5-year deal for the show, 5 times more than what Netflix could offer. To continue watching this show, you're forced to either subscribe to a new service, which would only eat into your pocket, or pirate it. This is a big ethical problem that's leading so many people to justify piracy.
Piracy is a victimless crime. No, seriously.
Especially when you consider the painful
Victimless
fact that
crime?
most streaming services do
I
not
don't know
have a
about that
strong
one.
library of good shows beyond the ones they plaster on billboards or the ones you see trending on TikTok. Eventually, you're left with a library of what some might call dog shit.
What the fuck is going on? This is so gross.
That's it. I'm never selling a dog's rear end again.
Me too, bro.
According to a study by Vindicia, the average American pays for 3 to 4 streaming video services per month, and that's just for video. There's Apple Music, Spotify, video games, even software now are more expensive than ever, and if you're outside the US, things get much worse. In Noragrat's video about piracy, he talked about a man who got a VPN, paid a random
in
dude
India to get him a local phone number, then made an Indian Disney Plus account
just so he could watch his favorite movie legitimately. family.
He's more dedicated to this than I was to my ex-wife.
If you have to put that much effort to watch a single movie, you may as well just pirate it.
When you pirate them, it's much easier, it's much quicker, it's a lot less expensive, obviously.
When I was researching for this video, I saw this post comparing the basic plan for a Netflix subscription versus the pirated plan. If you're one for quality movies, you'll notice that the pirated version is actually much better than what Netflix offers you for $12, which should not be. There's a new term going around for what streaming companies are doing. It's called enshittification. It's the theory that product and services offered by once great companies get worse and worse over time as their need for growth and profit outweighs their desire to satisfy customers.
Yes, because this is the same reason why video games feel like they're getting like worse and worse, which I don't even think is true. But you can tell that like a little bit less effort is being put into like the creative, like the true immersive experience of video games. And it's all because of this. It's because of cash flow. They're prioritizing making more money rather than making quality content. Quantity is overpacing quality. Okay, so if you look at a game like Fortnite, what they're gonna do is they're gonna put more things into the game. They're gonna put more skins, more instead of changing like the mechanics or changing like, you know what I mean? They're gonna put Spider-Man, Superman. They're gonna like put more things into the game so that you could buy more skins, buy more of this, buy more of that. And they're gonna just add more things so they could have you playing longer, so they could have you buying more. But back then, okay, Fortnite is actually the game that really created this complete shift turnaround in the gaming industry. Because back then, a game like Call of Duty, they were only making money like after the game was released, they were only making money off DLC, which was like 4 map packs in a year. But most games, all their money had to be made at the release, like from just buying a copy of the game. So the game had to be so good that everyone would want to buy it, and then that was it. They didn't have any more recurring. They didn't have recurring revenue. But now, you know, with games like Fortnite, the Battle Pass. Remember, Fortnite is the first game to introduce a Battle Pass. Okay, not every game has it. And now they're making so much money off the Battle Pass that the game could just be free. Okay, so everything is about money, because if they can't make money at the end of the day, then they can't make the game. Always remember this.
Eventually, customers are going to be forced to pay higher and higher rates for increasingly deteriorating services, to the point where piracy is going to become an increasingly alluring value proposition. And when that happens, you can be absolutely, indisputably assured that executives will blame absolutely everything but themselves. For now, the new approach people prefer is subscribe to one or...
But another thing is, I don't think movies are getting worse. I don't know. The games, though, games might be getting, you know, less immersive. Like if you just look at like a game like Black Ops 2 Zombies, Black Ops 3 Zombies, we're never going to get an experience like that ever again. You know what I mean? But movies, I don't think movies are getting worse. I think movies are actually getting better, but they're pumping out more. If in anything in life, if you have an overload of it, it's going to get boring eventually. Like your love for it, your dopamine is going to reduce. You know what I mean? If you're just hitting your dopamine every single time. But I watch movies like once every couple of weeks, bro. I literally watch a movie like once every month almost, man. I'm not going to lie. And when I watch a movie, man, I'm like, yo, this is really good. Every time I watch a movie, I'm like, this is really good. So I don't really think things are getting worse. It's just that y'all getting addicted, you know? You're just getting bored. Things are not getting worse. We're just getting bored.
or 2 streaming services and pirate the rest.
Facts. Back it up, back it up. 2, 2, 3 gon' make a nigga back it up.
The shifted priority of streaming companies from consumer satisfaction to maximizing shareholder value revived the quote, "If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing." You may have seen it in the comment section of videos. It's a reflection of people's growing anger towards the media we consume. It became even more popular when headlines like these started floating around.
The Gen Zers own.
But why are you getting mad about people like making movies for you? Why are you getting mad that you have to pay for a movie? What is wrong with people, bro? Nobody asked you to watch the movie. That is that was your decision. It is your decision to want to watch the movie, so freaking buy it. Like you shouldn't even be worried this much about a movie anyways. You should be worried about evolving your life, bettering your life. You should be worried about going to the gym, bro. Focusing on your food. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you mad at that, bro?
I think they don't want to own anything. Everything is a service.
I miss the days where when you actually purchased something, it was yours.
I just lost every single book on my Kindle. Over 300 books.
Then I tried to print at my leisure, and it was like, no, you literally can't use the printer unless you have a subscription.
Automakers want to turn this thing you drive every day into a moving subscription.
A new study shows Gen Zers have some finance problems, starting out with more credit card debt than previous generations.
But let this be your reminder, you guys, we don't own anything on social media. This is their app. They can at any time get rid of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, your email. We don't own anything.
It raises a question. Has Gen Z's future been reduced to nothing more than a monthly subscription?
Do you remember the good old days when you could buy a DVD and own a movie for life? The best part, it was physical. You could feel it. You could keep it. You could play it. It could even become
create your own
Fast forward
form
a few
of
years later, and streaming services came along offering an even better way to watch movies. One filled with unlimited potential and a vast library of shows.
Because at the end of the day, these people, they're doing us a service. They're the ones that created the infrastructures, created the software, created the apps that allows us to just open up our computer, open up our phone, and watch something. We don't have to go to the store no more. We don't have to go there. We don't have to do all this crazy stuff just to watch a movie. So at the end of the day, these people are these tech people, the ones that created it, they're providing us a service. Okay, and we should be happy about that. You know, we should be happy about that. If you don't like it, then don't do it. Don't use it. You know, that's how I see it.
You could never get tired. This was the dream sold. There was just one small
like you have
problem.
no choice.
You couldn't own any of it.
You have
Think
no
about
choice
it. If you
to
buy a
watch
Netflix
Netflix,
subscription today,
so
you're
they
not
should lower
buying
the
movies.
price.
You're renting access for as long as you continue paying. The day you stop for whatever reason that may be, whether it's because you got laid off from your job, got scammed, or maybe suffered a fatal accident that ate up your finances, as long as it causes your card to decline, your entire library disappears. Years of carefully building the perfect library for eating, dates, family, gone in an instant. That emotional connection you built, those memories tied to certain shows, they don't belong to you. They were always on loan, and the same goes for music as well.
My mother just threw me in the trash. Now I have to study till I pass.
It's pretty crazy to think that to keep your playlist, you must pay for it till you essentially die. And even then, it's not over. If you shared your password before passing, the bill could get passed to the next user.
In the United States alone, your password was shared over 1.3 million times.
1.3 million people. That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
For these reasons, and so many others, people choose piracy. Illegal sites that let you download movies for free and watch them as many times as you want without fear of losing access in the nearest future. I am not supporting piracy. I am just stating the facts. And the fact is, Gen Z loves piracy, even though most of them lack the technical know-how to do it. That's why videos like how to watch Netflix for free in 2025, 100% legal, get thousands of views, even though free and legal should never be in the same sentence.
Imagine this, without paying even a single dollar.
You get to enjoy all your favorite shows and movies on Netflix for an entire year.
This is the best working method, and it's going to allow you to get free money as well, because you're going to not only will you be able to get free Netflix, but you'll also be able to get free money with this method here.
I don't know, man. You mean sus lately.
Luckily for the streaming companies, many Gen Zs are
free
not
Netflix and free money.
Wow, a generation
that's
born
a hell of a deal, bro.
To be. Futurism called us the generation baffled by simple technology. It may come as a surprise, but because everything is so automated, 44% of Gen Z now have just the basic knowledge of how technology works. That's why we prefer Canva to Photoshop and CapCut to Premiere Pro, because it's easier to understand. It's also why Gen Z finds it hard to pirate
I actually use Photoshop
because they
more
don't
than
just
Canva,
know how, but they're willing to
I
learn.
use CapCut.
That is dangerous to streaming companies who have millions at stake. Subreddits, Telegram, and YouTube tutorials have been created to help the generation catch up on the vast revival of piracy. But you can argue that these are billion-dollar companies who can afford to waste $300 million on boring sci-fi movies with cool visuals.
That's a cool
so
little
technically,
movie.
piracy from a relatively small group of teens should not be a problem, right?
Wrong.
The truth is, every media company is terrified of piracy. Netflix even admitted it in a report to investors. And it's no surprise why. The streaming business is brutally competitive. Platforms are burning millions just to stay alive, and investors are losing faith in the business model fast. Just look at the numbers. Apple TV lost $1 billion in 2024. Peacock lost $372 million within the same year. Roku is down almost 20% this year, and Paramount stock has not recovered since they did the Thunderman's return.
What about Netflix? What about Netflix? Did Netflix lose or gain money in 2024? Netflix, did Netflix lose or gain money in 2024? They achieved a net income of nearly 8.7 billion. They gained money, ladies and gentlemen. So all the other apps, they just lost. They lost the battle. They lost the fight, and Netflix won. So you got to look at it from that. But you got to look at it from that perspective too. He's not saying the full picture. He's not saying the full picture.
But that does not mean streaming is dead. In fact, what these companies suffer in stock value, they almost always make up for in streaming subscriptions.
Bank of America's internal data show that consumers are spending way more on streaming than they were even a couple years ago. The percentage of households spending over $100 a month is growing, while the percentage spending less than $20 is shrinking fast.
It is because of this vast potential that many companies are taking big measures to combat piracy. But what happens when they run out of new subscribers?
Do you remember the "you wouldn't steal a car" anti-piracy videos that played in front of movies and on DVDs a whole bunch back in
2004, the British Federation Against Copyright Theft launched this anti-piracy ad, only to get caught in the ultimate hypocrisy. Turns out they stole both the fonts and the music when making the ad campaign. Some reports even suggest this carelessness accidentally encouraged more piracy instead of stopping it. Now, obviously, this ad alone was not responsible for the level of piracy carried out across different industries, but it definitely played a role in spreading awareness, not just in the way they expected.
The problem with the ad was it was released right at the birth of Web 2, just as people were really starting to figure out how the internet and computers worked. So rather than discourage people from downloading movies illegally, it just told them it was possible, and made them curious to explore the world of pirated content. And these were the glory days for pirated content. The Pirate Bay opened in 2003, and by 2005, there were over 1.7 million users downloading pirated movies, music, and software on LimeWire alone.
According to Znet, US households paid as much as $1,000 for streaming subscriptions. With these kind of numbers, you'd think streaming services would focus on making subscriptions more affordable, but instead, they're pushing for a new bill that could change the game forever. If passed, this law would force internet providers to block access to piracy websites, targeting anime, movies, TV shows, and other content that cost Hollywood billions yearly. They're especially fighting now, more than ever, as some reporters suggest that some piracy websites are receiving more traffic than Disney Plus and Crunchyroll. If this keeps up, it could ruin their entire business model. We're entering a new era where streaming services are running out of new subscribers. So the only way to keep the money flowing is by providing truly innovative, high-value experiences that customers actively want to support financially. For Netflix, it's their original shows and cough, their pricing structure that allows users to watch movies in 4K with Netflix spatial audio. For Disney Plus, it's Star Wars and their OG shows you could never get elsewhere.
And very evident.
For HBO Max, it's Game of Thrones. That's it. The truth is, streaming companies depend on users getting all their entertainment from them, and only them. Piracy doesn't just slow their growth, it threatens their entire existence. And since streaming is dependent on users coming back, it is only logical they take the necessary steps to protect the future of their business. But I can't help but wonder if this is really the solution, because people seem to think otherwise.
Like a rash that just won't respond to medication, internet piracy is one of those things that will never go away completely.
If you narrow it down, why do people really pirate? Is it just because it's free? Because for a while, streaming did reduce that problem. Or is it the convenience? If a pirate website makes it easy for you to access movies from all over the world in high quality with the extra bonus of no ads, the value of a streaming service like Disney Plus, who you cannot legally sue, drops dramatically. The only real way to win users and retain loyalty involves two words that is not very profitable in this day and age. It's called customer satisfaction.
I hate Disney.
Streaming services used to look like this. Now
you know,
if you want like your streaming, if you want Netflix to be free, then Netflix has to run ads, just like YouTube, social media, all these apps that are free is because they run ads. They're making money from the people, you know, buying ads. Like, look, promote my product, and I'll give you money. They're saying that to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. So these streaming services, that's the only way, at least for all I know, that's the only way to make their products, their streaming services free. They have to run ads. But if they do that, people are going to start getting mad. You know, they pay a lot of money to have movies and shows on their platform. They pay a lot of money. They pay millions and millions of dollars to have to get contracts to play their movies. So they're going to have to find a way to make that money, you know? The longer streaming services have been around, the more complicated and confusing it has gotten. It used to be you just had Netflix, but now we got 15 services, and half of them are ad-free, half of them have ads. I don't even remember which ones I paid for. I don't even know if some of them are free.
Yeah, this did start like 4 years ago.
At this point, I can only hope that the day comes that streaming fatigue becomes a thing of the past, and streaming platforms see its users as real people who crave to be entertained, who want to build unforgettable moments through shows, who rely on TV to escape reality when life is getting difficult, and not just numbers meant to increase stock price.
It's like getting mad at movie theaters to pay for movies, you know. Oh, that's it. That's just the end. Well, thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts on the comments down below. I download things for free all the time, you know, all the time. Is it good? Is it bad? In the grand scheme of things, it's probably bad. But if someone could get something for free, why would they pay? You know, you could argue that's like stealing, going to the store and stealing, but that's different, because if you steal, you're gonna get in trouble for sure. You know what I mean? If you steal, you're gonna get in trouble for sure. But if you download something for free online, nothing is gonna happen. They don't enforce it. It's not like the law enforces it. It's not like they're catching everyone pirated movies pirated. So it's like, at the end of the day, that's what the law is. Y'all supposed to be, if y'all not enforcing nothing, if y'all not giving people trouble for doing something, then you're effectively allowing us to do it, you know? But that's just how I feel. That's my opinion. What do you think? I really want to know. I'll catch you on the next one.